Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks, Week 2. I know we went 2-2 last week. If you followed the little Instagram we did, we lost. But if you followed last night's, we told you to take the Jets, so we're 3-3, and we've won our last 3 picks. But going by the video, 2-2. So everyone's a winner. Even me, Sarah. Even if it is your birthday and you don't want to come back. I don't miss you. Well, but Joe? Oh, and now, Geno's Picks. Yeah, it's all an act. I'm fine. The Steelers, my first pick, the Steelers are giving. Because some people give. Some people are givers. The Steelers are giving 3 to the Bengals at Heinz Field. Really? So you're basically telling me, Vegas, that this is a push and you're giving Pittsburgh 3 points for being at home? See, I give them a little more than that for another reason. And it's not because the Bengals players are out of Cincinnati as much as some of them are out of their minds. Pac-Man Jones and Vontaze Burfict, their playmaker, who, with this hit on Antonio Brown last year, not only got himself suspended the first 3 games of this year, but got his entire team suspended from the postseason because that cost them the wild card. Yeah, that is why they had a much harder time with the Jets last week than they should have. And not only do they lack playmakers on defense, see, we corrected that in rehearsal, Joe, but they also lack them on offense, as they definitely took a step back when they lost Marvin Jones to Detroit and replaced him with Brandon LaFell. Yeah, he had a great game last week, 4 targets for a reception, 91 yards, but he dropped so many balls in New England that they basically dropped him from the team for his inconsistency. In fact, the only place you're more likely to hear "Oops, LaFell" than at a Bengals game is a woman's shelter in France. Because French say la. You might also hear "I fell." All right, people. The Steelers are a better team. Take the Pittsburgh Steelers and lay the tray. My next pick, the Seahawks are laying. Yeah, we stopped laying each other. I'm back. They're laying 7 to the Rams, people, in the first home game the Rams will be playing in the LA Coliseum since 1979. And I'll tell you something, after watching that Rams game this past Monday night, they may be using a lot of the same players because they moved around the field like they were in their 60s, all right? But let me tell you something. If you let Blaine Gabbert and the Niners beat you, you absolutely stink. I mean, did anyone stay up and watch that game? If you did, you've got to be kicking yourself. I'll tell you something else. The only person that should not be kicking themselves for watching that entire game is the Rams punter, Johnny Heckert, because he's too tired to kick anything, probably for the rest of the season after punting 10 times on 13 drives. The other 3, interception, turnover on downs, because the Rams' offense stinks. I will tell you, between their wide receiver, Tavon Austin, who remains a glorified running back who can't get open downfield with no separation skills, running back Todd Gurley, who's suddenly being bottled up facing 10 and 11-man fronts, and Jared Goff, who they mortgaged the farm for and wasn't even suited up last week, this team is a giant work in progress. I will tell you something, people. The Rams may have come a long way from Ferguson this year, but they are still surrounded by failing projects. If the Seattle Seahawks catch fire, that's this week. People, take the Seahawks and lay the 7. My next pick, the Redskins are giving 3 to the Cowboys in D.C. You know why the Redskins lost this past Monday night, a game we were on? No, it's not because Josh Norman refused to line up against Antonio Brown on a few key plays. It's because the Redskins played a good team on all of the plays, and the Redskins still don't beat good teams. Don't get me wrong, people. Paying all that money, $75 million, to Josh Norman in the offseason, and then not having him cover their best player in Antonio Brown is ridiculous. That makes about as much sense as paying $3,000 to a hooker so she can watch you bang a fat chick. True story. I'll tell you, it's kind of good, though, because the fat chick really hates her. All right, we're back. People, let me tell you, Dallas is not a good team with Dak Prescott, at least not yet. Take the Skins, lay the points. Which brings me to my Double Your Money Monday Night betters. I like to call it, we're batting 1,000, 1 for 1, people. And by the way, let me point something out. If I go 1-2 and I'm historically 60% and you don't load up on Monday night, that's your fault. So let's bet big. The Bears are laying 3 to the Eagles in Chi-Town Monday night. Here's a fun-filled fact, people. This Monday night game was actually discussed in the Oval Office this week because whether you realize it or not, Obama may not have been born in America, but he is a huge Chicago Bears fan. And Joe Biden, yeah, still alive. 5, people. Did you lose that in your death pool? Is from Delaware, and that makes him a huge fan of the Eagles. So much so that he tried to get Obama this week as he chatted up the new quarterback Carson Wentz, telling the press that he had to get on the, quote, Wentz wagon. I wonder if Carson does that at bars after the game. Who wants a ride on the Wentz wagon? At any rate, wouldn't it be interesting if the two did a little side bet on the game? Because if they did, I will tell you, Tuesday morning, the Oval Office would not be smelling like Philly cheesesteak. It would be smelling like Chicago deep dish. Because while I think Carson Wentz is going to be a great quarterback in the future, basing it on one game, when he faces an actual defense on the road on a nationally televised game, he's going to smell like something else that Philly is famous for, the skoo kill. Yeah, the Bears are going to leave their stink all over the young Wentz. Take the Bears, lay the 3. Those are Geno's picks.